As we come to the beginning of another holiday season, one question continues to haunt me as I go from turkey to fruitcake to cocktail party. That age-old question is, what kind of wine should I bring? Or even more dreaded, what kind of wine should I serve? What goes with red? What goes with white? Dry, semi-sweet? As I stand in front of the shelves of endless bottles, these questions swirl through my head. Are you in the same boat? Well, picking the right wine for the right meal is not as difficult as you think, and I'm here to help you. Pairing wine with food is an American pastime. In other countries, people buy wine that is available to them locally, but we have the luxury to pick from all kinds of wine. We can choose locally grown wines we can choose wines from other states, and we can choose wines that are imported from other countries. We can pick up a bottle of wine for as little as $7, and it can taste fantastic. Or we can buy a bottle of wine for $1,200, and it can taste like rock sludge. So as I talk, I'm sure the rule of thumb is red with red is running through your head. That age-old rule of serving red wines with red meats and white wine with white meats has gone out with cassette players, hammer pans, and telephone booths. The new rule of thumb, according to wine concierges, sommeliers, and maitre d's across the country is drink what you like. Wine is like art. You decide what you like, how you like it, and when you like it. However, there are tricks of the trade when choosing a wine to accompany any meal. If you pay attention to some basic recommendations, you will almost always have a pleasant food and wine experience. The first thing to keep in mind is that wine and food need to complement each other. A heavy, dry red wine will probably not go very well with a light vegetable primavera meal. The wine is too heavy for a light, airy, springy meal. You need a nice balance. Lighter, fruitier, clearer wines with less than 12% alcohol, such as a Riesling or a Zinfandel, would be a finer accompaniment. A heavier, drier red, such as a Cabernet Sauvignon, would pair well with a hearty beef stew. Not because there's meat in the stew, but because the overall food element has salt, fat, acid, the textures, and the bitterness. This is what makes up the stew, and they are mimicked in a richer, more oaky red wine. The second thing that you want to keep in mind is, what is the food focal of the meal? That's not the same thing as asking what is the protein. It's asking, how is the food prepared? Is it served with a cream sauce? Is it barbecued? Is it a Latin-inspired dish that is spicy? Is it a salty fun food like hot dogs or pizza? Is it a salad made mostly of greens? These things all will alter the flavor of wine, and wine can also alter the flavor of food. Foods prepared in white cream sauces pair very nicely with a dry, medium-bodied white wine like a Chardonnay. Spicy foods like Mexican, Indian, or Cajun food does better with lighter, fruitier wines like a Pinot Grigio, because this helps to cancel out the bite, but it blends nicely with the heat. A full-bodied red or white can create the sensation of foods and wines being even spicier. Bitter foods such as salads do not do well with bitter wines, so try pairing a salad with a more acidic wine like a Sauvignon. Barbecued and grilled meals like chicken and steak pair nicely with a Merlot. This is a Merlot. Or even with something a little lighter like a Pinot Noir. This is a Pinot Noir. Are you serving hors d'oeuvres? The best bet for wine for salty, fun finger foods is always a sparkling wine, which, this is the holiday, and they were sold out. Sparkling wines help to cut the salt and the fatty oils and leave fun, crisp flavors and textures in your mouth, but it won't alter the taste of your food. If you are serving wine with a dessert, you must be careful. You want to make sure that wine you serve is a little more sweeter than the dessert that you're serving. If not, the wine will seem bitter and sour, and it won't be enjoyable. You also need to proceed with caution with chocolate. Always serve a sweeter red wine with dark chocolate. A dry red wine will enhance the bitterness of the dark chocolate. And finally, keep a wine guide in your glove box or your wallet. Most wineries have them, and you can easily print them from the internet. These quick guides can offer you the experience you may not have and will give you the courage to try a wine you have not yet experienced. Ultimately, choosing a wine comes down to two things. The first thing, according to Mark Zarelli, who is the author of Windows on the World, the complete wine course, and former wine director of Windows on the World, is synergy. That unique experience that occurs when you combine the flavors of wine and food together. The second and most important thing is drink what you enjoy. At the end of the day, what you choose to serve and bring will not matter nearly as much as the wonderful time that you spend with your family and friends. So let me recap that this is a Merlot, which is the darker red wine. This is a Pinot Grigio, a lighter, airy wine. And this is a California Zinfandel. It's got a light, crisp taste, which we're going to demonstrate. I'm going to end this with cheers and happy holidays.